Welcome to Liberated Grounds.
I'm driving around over there. Yeah.
You remember for years.
Crazy because we're really doing this. You know, these hoes will play. It's me throwing you in.
Every time. I'm like, what?
It was land and Walmart.
It be
Right there. That was my bad. But no, I right.
Stepping up, tuning in, because this episode is called our Buchanan Street 2 audio. And this is take 1. We are well here. It is well here. This is our podcast, first episode. We are so excited. We've been working extremely hard to just get to this point, to be able to share with our community the vision, the statement, all of the things that are coming, the freedom opportunities, what it means to be a member. We have some of our founders, our charter members, and our chapter members that are going to be joining us today and sharing with you this great vision. I brought my journal. For me, it all begins with this. My uncle gave me this back in 2019 when I went to visit with my family. And the first thing I put here was, here's to mastering our world. Because that's where it all begins, with discipline. All the things we've ever wanted came from a place of inspiration and desire. Our thoughts are capable of creation, making it real for us. Once the belief becomes tangible in our minds, we move on it. The best way we know how, anyway. We began tackling our dreams one step at a time. It's the little wins. How do we measure our successes? Does getting up every morning and making your bed count? Damn right it does. Well, when you create habit, you create structure. When you create structure, you become disciplined in those actions. And once you become disciplined, you don't compromise from what you worked hard to create. Today, I have joining us a founder of Liberated Grounds. Peace. I am your host, Emmy, and
newly made.
We are both founders of Liberated Grounds.
Yes.
So, Newly, tell the people how we got here. What's going on? They want to know. The people want to know. They're asking all about it.
It starts with an idea, right? A thought. It all starts with a thought.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I don't know.
No, that's good. That's good. So, when it came to Liberated Grounds, the first thing that we established is that we were in the middle of the pandemic, right?
Right.
There was a lot going on. People were at home. They were sheltering in place. Artists didn't really know exactly what to do next. What was happening for you in that moment?
Really just trying to figure out next steps. Realizing that the life that I'd been accustomed to, that I was somewhat comfortable in, that was starting to change. So I was looking for alternative options. There wasn't really the same opportunities, so we really had to get creative, think outside the box and come up with new opportunities. And really just being in that situation, being in that space allowed us to see things as they
Some things actually did go left. A lot of people's families were impacted. A lot of people's personal lives are forever impacted by the pandemic. So what role is Liberated Grounds playing? Or how did this even become a thing where we've got almost 70 plus members now, but it's why do you feel like people are attaching themselves to something like this vision that we've been building on for 2+ years now?
I think it's just the idea, the concept that you have when it comes to being free. As a creative, as an artist, like creating is something for me personally that connects me to a creator.
That's right.
So like, it's something that I think is absolutely necessary. And then with Liberated Grounds, I'll speak for myself because I don't want to speak for anyone else. But what I say is I think is a contributing factor is you have the opportunity. We create freedom opportunities to create and make a living creating. So it's just the idea wrapped around being able to do what you love and then being able to make a living or a life out of that.
Yeah. So I touched a little bit on discipline in the journal. And I think what I love about what we do as artists and as creatives is like we love it so much. We don't really even see it as a discipline or a practice. It's just a way of life, right?
Yeah.
When I think about Liberated Grounds and I think about the work that is being done to sustain Liberated Grounds, which is Ujima, one of the Kwanzaa principles of collective work and responsibility, I think about all the little things that are required to get us to this point. So in that, how do we actually discipline ourselves, or what is this practice? How are people, what are we doing when we come together? Can you share with the people, like, what does that actually feel like as a group, as a collective?
Like-minded individuals, it's nothing else like finding your tribe, being around people who just get it, they understand. We all know there's work that needs to be done. We know that the way things are working now, it's just not working for us. Number one is showing up. We talked about it during Kwanzaa. We had the speakers come in and give us that beautiful gem knowledge. But just showing up is the first thing. Making sure that we're able to show up for each other, for ourselves, and then create that ritualistic feeling of, okay, we're doing this work together, making it a behavior, a pattern, something that we can, see ourselves doing on a daily basis, a weekly basis, monthly and yearly, and then, those good habits that allow us to, do good work.
Yeah. So the people don't know, but we have 3 disciplines that we practice as a collective, right? Eat well, sleep well, and be well. And so those are the 3 practices that we just kind of came up with as a collective. Mm-hmm. That was our starting point. It just made the most sense. Like, that's as basic as something can get, right?
Yeah, you break it down. It's like it's something you're going to do, or you should do every day. Survival, basic needs. But it's like the easiest things that we forget how to do.
That's right. And I think my favorite thing that I love about Liberated Grounds is what the community brings to me as an individual. Like, I haven't always eaten well, ate well. So the practice of like eating well, when we have our Sunday dinner, it's a full vegan meal, right? Yeah, like it's an opportunity for us to learn a different way of life, and the food is delicious. It's absolutely delicious. Shout out to Master Chef Arba. When it comes to sleep well, I mean, what are some of your favorite things that we're practicing as part of Liberated Grounds, or be well?
I gotta say sleep well. All of it incorporates, being well, but sleep well for me is because definitely as an artist, it's like always on the go, trying to figure out, the next move. There's always something that needs to be done, or something that you're thinking about, a project, the next something. But it's like taking that time out to rest, to recover, to recuperate. A lot of times we just get burned out, and it's like there's nothing that we're doing to pour back into ourselves that allows us to create or give to our communities. So sometimes we do this work, and then over a long period of time, years and stuff, like we get burnt out, and you don't want to do that. So
I think when we established the disciplines, we came up with our rest. It's a play on the word our, HOUR, and our OUR. When we get together, it's us practicing this collective rest. Shout out to the Nap Ministry. That was my first time seeing that. Woo!
Yeah.
And we're doing that here in Nashville. That's where we're based, if anybody didn't know already. We're looking forward to the growth, but this is where we're beginning, here in our community, where we are planted. And so our rest is just this idea where we get together for a few hours and we set up the space and we simply rest, right? There might be some sound sounds in the background and different things, but how do we actually get to the point where we put rest first? Like, how did we get to that point where rest became a practice? And how can other artists get to that, other creatives get to that point?
We literally had to put it on our schedule. Like, we had to set aside a day for that. It's like, between this time and this time, we're not going to do anything else but make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and resting. So it's like, we can schedule appointments, we can schedule, the
everything
gigs,
else, right?
Everything else. So it's like, we got to take that time out, carve it out, and look at investing in yourself.
Yeah, and for the other liberators out there, I think we should start inviting people to just rest with us no matter where you are. If you can't make it into LG, Liberated Grounds, just put it on your calendar and just rest with us. There are rest resources at thenapministry.com. She also just released a book, Rest and Resistance. That's not even a plug. Like, we're not even being sponsored by that, but go check it out.
If you are a friend that's suffering.
So the last discipline that we have is be well. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's just all encompassing, right?
Yeah.
There's so much to that. I think the idea is just to reiterate. It's almost like an affirmation, right? Like, it is well, we are well, just being well, I am well. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's that reminder to always kind of put your mask on first, kind of a thing, right? Like, I have to take care of myself first, and then I can be a part of this community. And I think that's what I also love about our community is that, like, we are practicing checking in on each other, like checking in on your wellness, your well-being, my well-being. What are some things that you think that we can, I guess, even strengthen when it comes to the work that we're doing around wellness, just all in all?
I'm gonna take a beat.
Yeah. Yeah. How can we strengthen our wellness strategy, our wellness plan? Like, is there anything else to add to it, or even like to subtract from the daily grind to be more intentional about our well-being?
Making sure that we're present. There's practices, there's techniques that we can use to just ground ourselves, to be present, to be aware.
Yeah. It's like we're learning, like, even right now, right? It's like
being in the space, just learning more about, like, myself and the things that are affecting me and the people around me. Like, the other week we did, like, breathing practices.
Yeah.
And I learned about, like, fire breathing and different ways I can, like, move the energy in my body just by, like, changing how I breathe. So that's big, because it's like you've been breathing all your life, but
right.
Like, what is this? So it's new.
It's new. I mean, I feel like we're dropping gems, but also we're new to some of these practices as well. So check out the links in the YouTube below. We're going to throw some links in there for you to be able to attach yourself to some of these practices that we're talking about. We'll find some links if we don't have anybody in our community who actually is practicing this that we can share. We definitely want to continue creating resource banks for all of us as we grow and we step into these new or these continued practices. So I have a beautiful spirit joining us next. She is a chapter member. We call her Dr. J. So stay tuned. She's coming up next. You're in for a treat. So we are deciding to call this segment A Seat at the Table. Why? Because we are the table.
Hey.
This is our table. This is where it all began. This table can seat like 16 people. No doubt it pulls out. And this is actually where we have our Sunday dinner at this same table. And it folds up to like nothing, right? Yeah. So I've got Dr. J with me. I got Newly Made with me. We was trying to figure out exactly what we wanted to say in this first formal introductory podcast. Yeah. And what we established was all of us are thinking about this idea of liberation. What does liberation mean for you? How do you attach yourself to some type of
air smells more airier.
Come on, airier.
Yes, everything is brighter because the lenses have changed.
Yeah.
Right? We're looking at life through the lenses that are actually a reality now. Yeah. So it's a feeling.
So what's actually changing? Does anything actually change, or is it just what is it?
I would say, the liberation starts within, right?
That's right.
So when you come to the realization that you are free and you can move in that vein, then absolutely the change is here. And because it's here first, then everything else changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like certain things that you're just not going to worry about as much or at all anymore. There's a lot of things that we're distracted by, and we're just in like survival mode. But when you're free, there's certain things that you just don't have to worry about. So yeah, it's definitely an eye-opener. You get to appreciate enjoy more. So I think there's going to be a time frame for me the day after where it's like relief. I'm just at peace, complete peace. But then also it's going to be sustainability for me.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm not going back.
While he was talking
going back
support, I was like, ooh, yes, it's the, like you were talking about that word warrior, the survival mode situation. So we don't have to survive anymore. It's thrive.
Yeah.
Period.
That's
Right. So it's the understanding that like your support is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we decided on the name Liberated Grounds, right? The first time I heard it, I was just like, oh, wow, okay. That just makes sense. Like, it just made sense. What was it like the first time that y'all heard it, or it was introduced to you? What was that like?
I always
like,
laugh.
what is this?
I laugh because, on the Coming to America, one of Eddie Murphy's characters was that old man. He was like, That's kind of the way it felt on the inside, because if you think about it, you get real deep into the words. Liberated grounds. These grounds need to be liberated. Why do these grounds need to be liberated? They were here before you. They were here before us, but we're liberating the grounds. I was like, come on with it. Yeah, it was that good stuff. It was that good feeling.
I definitely took it surface. These grounds are going to be liberated. So it's like, this is a place to be free.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the fact that you can hear it and it can mean something else to whoever hears it, and it's open for interpretation. And it's like what liberation looks like for me might be different for you, but it's a place where we can come together and we can help each other make that a reality.
Yeah. So to share a little bit about the beginning, right? This is historical context. Back in 2020, so we talked a little bit about the pandemic and how we were all trying to find our way as creatives and as artists, especially where we are planted, which is Nashville, Tennessee. The Engine for Art, Democracy, and Justice brought Dr. Shamel Bell here to Nashville through a trans-institutional relationship between Vanderbilt University, Fisk University, and the Frisk Art Museum. She was unable to actually attend in person, so I held space for her as a performing artist, a street dance activist, and a Black woman, right? A young Black woman. When I met Dr. Shamel Bell, she with her ideals, and one of them was the Global Dance Project for Black Liberation, Global Dance Meditation for Black Liberation. And the words Black Liberation was just like eye-opening, because one, what's good for Black people is good for all people, right?
Yeah.
Right? So that's just a starting point. When y'all hear Black liberation, does it actually mean anything different than liberation for all? Like, what are we actually saying there? What's being said? That the people who may not have any idea what does that mean? Like, Black liberation, does that mean it's not for me? Like, what's happening?
It makes me think about the if you think about the individuals that are Black or consider themselves Black in America, things that have over history have been oppressive and things of that matter. Other people have experienced those things as well. So Black liberation, in my perspective, means the systems that were set up to subjugate and continue to oppress the global majority. But so I think about the systems. So Black liberation, if you think about Jim Crow, like just the history of where we are, so much of this place is comprised of those things. Nobody cannot, unless you're not from here, you don't not know.
No, right?
You don't not know. So Black liberation, again, is for everybody, because if we can solve those things at the root level, root cause, everybody's going to be better.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's good. No, that's good. And so to give a there's so much work that she has done, but also she has shoulders that she's standing on, and that work has found its way to Nashville. The artists, the creatives in the community were already meeting, what we were saying, having spaghetti dinners, thinking about what we do next. So that the word liberation is one that we just kind of brought into the space, and we were like, okay, I think this is really what we're doing, because whatever happens next after the pandemic is like up to us.
Works.
You know?
Yeah. It's like that notion of, okay, I no longer have to ask for permission.
Right.
Or look for someone's approval to do what I know in my heart is right.
Hell yeah.
Or what I feel is like freeing or best for me. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And when we all do that together, we give each other permission to keep doing it, right?
That's right.
Because there's always a reason. There's always some reason why somebody can say, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't be yourself, right? But when you are encouraged by somebody else that looks like you, and they say, yes, please, snap, go.
That's right.
It makes it so much easier to unabashedly be yourself.
Unabashed.
Word of the day.
Oh. Actually cut it out. Word of the day. Bing.
Yeah.
Y'all know how they do on YouTube.
Put a little definition right there.
Right.
We're gonna keep a language book going of liberated words.
Yes.
Words
Okay.
for liberation.
That's,
No, seriously.
yes, that should keep going.
Stay tuned. All right, so I want to just like open the table, things that might be on your heart to share with our new liberators, our new community that we're building online, because we're doing this not just for our local community, but so we can spread the word, spread the news. Like, it's happening. And it's not just happening in Nashville. It's communities all over that are doing this that we're ready to partner with and have cultural exchanges, have dinner. Like, what are y'all thinking? What's next? What's happening?
Well, I want to speak to the people who don't consider themselves as artists, right? Because I was one of them. Because I don't pick up a pen or a paper or a paint and do things like that. But I'm a curator of safe spaces, and I said I create safe spaces, amongst other things, right? But creating a safe space is what Liberated Grounds is, right? But I encourage everybody to, if this pulls you in any type of way, just come to the space, just come to the table, because there is some place for you, your mind, your thoughts, your voice. Because believe me, I didn't, again, feel like I was a quote unquote creative. But once I was around individuals that allowed their consciousness to flow, and I allowed myself to do the same, we got on the same wavelength. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm a creator too. Because, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
So don't feel like you don't belong, because you do.
That's good.
Sometimes, it just takes being around the right people.
Yeah.
The people, like, who can remind you of who you are, what you're capable of. There was a time where I didn't know of my own greatness, my lineage, or where I came from. It's like, sometimes you just have to be in a space for new experience, and those experiences leads you to things that can help you fulfill your purpose.
Absolutely.
That's very good. So we'll continue inviting you to join us to have a seat at the table.
Yeah.
Right? All right, next up, I'm going to have a Peace.
What's up?
My girl. Our Dr. J. Woo, 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 woo,
Like,
woo.
boop, 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 boop.
That's right. So I'm so grateful that you are here with us today, like founding podcast day.
Right.
Here to spread all the good juju into the universe, into the atmosphere. Give us some words, some words of encouragement. Let's just set the table, set the mood. What you got?
Yes, must start with the breath. All of the breaths, deep breaths. I didn't realize how much I liked the sound of the exhale until I did it consistently. It's a sound that brings relief. And that's what we get to do here at Liberated Grounds. Like when we come in the door and we experience each other, or we just experience the space, and you just get to, it's like, yes.
You kind of feel it coming through not even kinda, right? Everybody who walks through that door right there and they come into this space, it's almost like the world just kind of falls. Everything that they were carrying just kind of falls off, right? And I'm not just speaking for like my own experience. I hear that a lot.
Absolutely. And I think it's because it's for us, by us, that energy is so prevalent, right?
Yeah.
Because it's what people want to put into the space. It's not even the rule book. It's like a unspoken known, because that's the desire. Just like liberation is the desire. We have a desire to create safe places where artists and individuals and everyone could feel like they belong.
Yeah.
Right?
And our things belong here. Like when we first came into this space, we bought 4 or 5 pieces of furniture, and everybody brought something that represented liberation. Everything you see, for the most part, has been gifted to us. What a blessing.
Absolutely.
So it's made up of our energy, right?
Absolutely.
And the best things are.
That's right. That's right. When you say
best things
gifted to
are.
us, and I liked that, because liberation is a gift.
Yeah.
It's definitely a gift, but it's a gift that we are actively sowing into the soil for, right? So the gift is like, man, you get to do that exhale, because I know that this work is being done collectively for everybody. And I think that's the new mentality that's circulating. Like all the energy that's circulating is because I put into this, and I'm seeing it, and it's growing, and it's doing things. It's just like, when you watch fast forward a seed germinating and coming out of the ground real fast. It's like we're watching the seeds grow with Liberated Grounds, and we're watching it grow right before our eyes. Yeah, real fast.
So let's get into it, because we have members. We have membership levels where we started with a founder circle, me and Newly. We are founders. We have charter members. We have chapter members. What is all of this? Well, people are wondering. They're asking questions like, "What are y'all doing over there?"
Like people,
we are practicing group economics. We see ourselves as a coalition, a cooperation. We are trying to get land. Can you help us
get land? Okay. Blink, blink. Okay. And the reason why that part is so important, because historically that is not something that our people have done or been able to do generationally, right? So we're saying we are going to be the change agents, and say we are going to start the beginnings of the deep pockets, right? The trust fund babies come out of here.
See, I was going to say, like, can you help us, like, gather ourselves so that people can get on the same page about what we're doing, especially people who have no idea. Like, they might have heard it through the grapevine, or this is their first time coming across our YouTube channel. Like, help make it plain for these new liberators. What is this? Why is this model working for us? And why are we open to being flexible to something if we need to shift? Like, yes, deep breath.
I can answer that last question. Why is this structure working? I feel because individuals like flexibility. Individuals like options. And they're given membership options. They're given a membership track. They're given an opportunity to say, this is where I want to go. This is where the place that I want to be.
Yeah.
And you have a opportunity to show up in community in the way that suits your niche.
That's good.
Right? And then you're giving back to community in that way. Structurally, there are things put into place. There's a roadmap. There is a plan. And it's here. And I'm pretty sure. Like, again, we'll get into those types of things. We'll get into it. But the fact that we're creating it for ourselves. And sometimes that scares people because we're used to being spoon-fed everything. Do this now, change this, go here, right? But the fact that we are creating the space, it's like the individuals that are ready, the individuals that want liberation and change, they're the ones stepping up and they're willing to take the risk. What's that meme say? Can we curse on here?
Yeah.
Yes. What's the meme say? What does the meme say? The meme says, think big, bitch. Think big. Okay?
You can't say that word.
Oh, man.
I'm just like... That was going to be like, damn, or something.
Oh,
damn. Okay. Get into it.
Think big, human. Think big. Either way. Either way. We might have to cut that out. But either way, the way we have been thinking, the paradigm needs to shift and change.
Yeah.
And change makers are the ones that look like you're crazy. The ones that everybody's like, oh, how's that going to work? Or everybody that has big, big dreams, everybody said you were ahead of your time. Nobody believed you. They thought you were a quack. And then decades later down the road,
I'm supposed to be looking.
They've got institutions in their names. They've got whole theories built after them. Why? Because they defied the odds and did something that was new and different. And it's what the people needed at the time.
That's right.
It's what the people needed at the time.
That's
this
good.
is what the people need.
That's good. So what came to mind there was we chose to call our opportunities freedom opportunities instead of job opportunities, right? Mm-hmm. When the community supplies us with opportunities, it's up to us to choose to get free, how we choose to engage, how we choose to show up.
Yes.
So there's more ways to think about language and presence and identifiers and what we call ourselves, right?
Correct.
That's Kuji Jakalia.
Yes.
Kwanzaa. Yes. So going into the mission, we provide freedom opportunities that create multimedia works. I'm going to have to do that all over again.
It's all right.
Okay.
Edit.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take a look at our wall. This is our informational wall for people who come into the space. The wall is chock full of information.
Yes.
I'm just gonna read straight from it because I don't want to get up. Okay? Yes. Beep that out. Beep. We provide freedom opportunities to create large-scale multimedia works that promote public art activism and collective work and responsibility. That's Ujima. Mm-hmm. Our objective is to provide a communal, interdependent, live-work space for artists to learn, train, grow, create, and develop skills to support collective work and responsibility because we are imagining a new world to thrive. This is Liberated Grounds.
New world.
A new world.
A new world. But when you said the word that stuck out, it's all great. It's all marvelous.
Yes.
Okay? Creators, bravo.
I'm not by myself here, but
I know, yes.
okay.
But communal, okay? Communal means, do we know how to live in community? That is a new concept to a lot of people, what communal living really is. And we're not talking about on a combine. Now, some individuals, artists will be sharing space, but the communal is not just a word. It's not just living on the same grounds. It's a mindset.
Yes.
So communal living, like a hive, right? They think the same. They act the same. They understand they understand the outcomes that they would like, and they move as such.
Common unity.
Correct.
Yeah, that's there. To move as a unified front. It's almost like how when you see the birds be doing a thing in the sky. Mm-hmm. And you're not. No.
Migration.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. camera I'm supposed to be looking at?
I don't know.
Is it the camera over there?
Yeah.
No, but seriously, it's like just one small shift of the bird that's next to you, you pivot too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what I'm loving the most about Liberated Grounds is that like no one is leading the charge per se. It's like everyone is coming to the table, especially our Think Tank Thursdays. Get you a seat at this table. Everybody's coming to the table with fresh ideas. We're ideating. We are thinking about communal initiatives, right, that support the framework of the entire community, right? We begin with ourselves. Like, how do we ground ourselves before we try to leave these four walls? Ourselves, because what are we actually teaching each other? What are we teaching our people? And I think that's what is special about what we're doing in this present moment, because we're only 6 months old. Right? Infancy. So we're gathering ourselves here. We're pulling it in. We're saying, what are we doing? What are we actually sharing with our people? And when it comes to the sharing piece, there's a lot to share, because all these practices out here that everybody's doing, they are our practices. Sometimes what we say, they're teaching us.
Correct.
You know?
Wow. It's good, though. It's good, though.
It's good.
You said, grounding ourselves here. Right. That's the piece, grounding yourself here. Taking the time to be intentional about showing up and what that means in community, because we live in a capitalistic society.
Yes, we do.
This mind shift is huge. It's major to the success of this framework, because how you show up outside of the world is different than you would the way we're cultivating culture here.
Right.
So understanding what that means we have to learn their language, learn our language, and that means showing up, understanding what Liberated Grounds means to you. And there's no right or wrong with that. And that's what we love about this community, because you could be yourself and it's accepted, and we move and we flux according to what's happening. So that's what I really think draws the people, because things on paper are going to look good to a specific person, but there are individuals that move off of frequency, and they got to feel it. They might not even look at the paper.
That's right.
But they're like, what's the vibe here? What's the frequency here?
Walking through that door.
Yeah.
That's what happens. I think we should just save some stuff for the next episode, because we've gotten into it this time. I feel like we've dropped a lot of information. We are opening the table up, creating a seat at the table for our new liberators out there. We are really excited to engage with you all. Let me just go ahead and say it. Let me just, this is our first YouTube situation. So y'all already know what to do. Follow us at liberatedgrounds.com. You can also check out our IG at Liberated Grounds. And we've just decided to name the podcast Liberated Grounds. We're just going to throw some segments in there. I'm going to finish this off with one final segment called Gold and Molasses, where I just leave us with a few gems. I'm going to start with my journal, but then I'm going to start stealing other people's journal.
It's okay.
If they let me. Thank you, Dr. J, for joining us today.
Yes, it's my pleasure.
And we'll see you next time. Peace. So, in my spirit, I am feeling tab time. So I want to sing you a song. Thank you for this time today, the friends we made, the food we ate, stories and imagining. So glad we had this time with you today. Shout out to Tab Time. This is our segment called Gold and Molasses, where we give goodness and we take a moment to just take it in. I'm going to read from the journal the same piece I started with. It all begins with discipline. Once you become disciplined, you don't compromise from what you've worked to create. Why? Because the next creation is character. Discipline creates character. Character is comprised of ethical and moral beliefs. So if you find yourself making something new a habit and you don't want to compromise your beliefs, stop it. Rejection is God's way of redirecting. It's odd, well, amazing, but you already know what you need to do for you. Good people help you grow and will nurture the gifts and talents they see in you. But it was all already there along the way. My Uncle Anthony, he's nurturing my 3 cousins and Martha, my aunt. He was intentional about their names because he wanted them to give and be a gift to the world. Seeing them and discussing with him yesterday about it, it all showed me that before they arrived, 3 things happened. The family was intentional. Understanding of life existed. Intuition would come with them, the babies. Now that they are here, showing off their discipline and character, 3 things are happening. 1, they live up to their gifts, their names. They're in a nurturing environment, and they do not compromise. No one, not even my uncle. Through conversation, I learned for even myself to never, to stop compromising who I am for the comfort and friendship and companionship of others. I'd rather be alone, is what I would tell myself. Once you compromise on something, you begin to create small habits that begin a slippery slope down changes in character. Here's where we are: dreams, inspiration, tangible thoughts, creation, small steps, little wins, habits, structure, discipline, character, morals. And under that, compromise. Did I hit everything? It's okay if I didn't. My opinion is not for you to read or to listen to and make concrete. It's just to get you thinking about how to nurture your own thoughts. My thoughts are not my own. What is the first thing I wrote in this journal? It's okay. Go back and look again if you need to. Here's to mastering our world. Before now, yes, today, my thoughts and decisions were for me all by myself. Today, I choose to change that. Not everything, just how I get to the expert level. If you think about a video game or just a simple online chess game, the expert level is a damn near genius, a computer, right? It will make instant adjustments to be in the winning position. It knows all the cheat codes, moves, tactics, and anything else it needs to win. The goal is to win. And for this life, I plan to win not just for myself, but with my people. Mastering the world comes by only one way: mastering self. Thank you for joining us here at Liberated Grounds. It is within us, never without us. Peace.